Ladies and gentlemen, coming at you live from snowy Fargo, North Dakota, and Seattle, Washington, we are the Leeds Geeks. Joining me, as always, Ryan Dorheim, Pete Kirby, Mr. Jim Renfro. Eric will be joining us shortly. Jim, what's going on today? What are we working on?
Today we got a guest. We got Jesse here today. So basically, Jesse wanted to work on some expireds. Met Jesse a while back with Robbie, and basically today we're going to work on expireds with C's and D personalities. So that's where Jesse's been struggling. So Jesse, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, and then we'll take it away.
Yeah, hey, Jesse Paul here out of St. George, Utah with the Larkin Group. I'm an ISA for the team here, and ready to practice this. I'm excited.
All right.
Nervous, but excited.
Well, we're here to learn, man. So, Jesse, why don't you give Cody a call?
Sure. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Cody.
Yes, who am I speaking with?
Cody, this is Jesse with the Larkin Group. Reaching out to you today because I noticed your home came off the market last night and wanted to see what happened. Why do you think that didn't sell?
It indeed came off the market. We had a generally negative experience during selling our home, and it appears that people just did not find our home very desirable.
Really? Tell me more about that. When you say negative experience, what does that mean?
Overall, I did not feel that the realtor put their best foot forward. I don't feel that perhaps they met us in the middle. We did not get a lot of feedback and generally left the process more frustrated than when we began.
Oh, wow. And that sucks. So when you started this, where were you guys wanting to move to?
I'll be downsizing into a small apartment near work.
Really? To rent an apartment, or are you going to buy one?
I'll be renting. It will be just me making the move.
So it's just you. And what do you do for work downtown?
I'm a horse doctor. I work at the veterinary services clinic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it about 7 years.
Nice. I wouldn't realize that there'd be such a big call for that, but I guess there's horses everywhere you go, right?
This is true. It's a very niche a niche community of specialists, but we're very proud of what we do.
Awesome. So when you first started, how long did you think it was going to take you to get this home sold?
Preliminary research indicated that the time to close should be roughly around 3 months, and I estimated an additional month for showings. So I guess in total, I estimated around 4 months.
Wow. So, and now you've been sick. So, man, gosh, any idea why it took longer and you had such a bad experience?
We didn't get a lot of feedback from the realtor. Perhaps it's the market. I don't know. We're in the early part of the year. Perhaps people haven't really taken to going at home showings. At this point in the year, it's very cold, understandably. Kids are still in school, so I don't know. I think perhaps it has to do with the market. My home is in pretty good shape, and I've taken very good care of it over the years. But
interesting. So you say it's just you, so you don't have a family, right?
We will be separating.
You'll be separating. Oh man, that sucks. So are you guys still in the home together now, or?
We are.
Gotcha. Man, that's a tough call. How are you doing with that?
I throw myself into my work and try to give my attention to the horses the best I can, and take my mind away from things at home. So. Right.
And so, yeah. So are you guys both on board as far as getting the home sold? Are you in agreement?
We are. It's an amicable decision, as amicable as these sort of things can go. So, So we are on board.
So Cody, how could we best help you if we could get together and figure this out? Would that be valuable for you guys at this point, or what would be the best? Do you think?
Well, given the circumstances for time, it is imperative that we get it back on the market. But I suppose my questions would be around what can you do differently as compared to the last realtor I had?
Oh gosh, probably quite a bit. I mean, honestly, would you guys find it valuable if we could? What we've done for folks like yourself is set up a time to get together so we can show you all the stuff that we do and then go from there. If it's not completely different, I invite you to actually kick us to the door as well. But if it is different, would you find it valuable to get this up on the market again quickly?
I suppose if the value incentive was there, then yes, I would be highly incentivized to get back on the market.
Okay, great. So why don't we do this? What day usually works best for you and your wife to get together?
Let's pause here. Jesse, what feedback you got for yourself?
I felt like I paced him really well. I felt like once I got him over to the situational side or the relational side, I jumped back over, and then I had to jump back, so I was really discombobulated there. I should have stayed there and really dug deeper. But then once I got him talking about the divorce and he brought up we need to get this back on the market again, I think I could have stayed on the relational side a little bit longer and talked more about that. But I felt like I naturally let it flow to the appointment.
Yeah, so I timed things. So you were about 5 minutes into the call. May have been just a little bit longer than that, but I think I started about a minute in and we were at 4 minutes. So we were at about 5 minutes of the total call. I think you did really, really well up until minute 4 to 5. And so, Cody, I'm going to let you give your feedback, and then Pete and anybody else, and then I'll go.
So, Jesse, great job mirroring and matching. I think the cadence of the conversation, you flowed really well with that. And the mirroring matching was good. I think we started to get into really fuzzy water. Jim hit it on the head around minute 4 to 5. Big thing I've got is that you didn't actually provide me with the value. You never told me what you would do differently, and you don't know really outside of, well, had a bad experience with my last realtor, what actually went wrong. I think we could have gone a lot deeper there. And that kind of led to, when you were coming to minute 4 and 5, it's like, well, if we can get you in the door, well, why am I coming through the door in the first place? I never really established that rapport. Otherwise, I think you did really well with mirroring, matching, and pacing. And those are victories that need to be celebrated. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job, Jesse. A couple of things that you didn't, as far as letting the conversation flow, I'm a big fan of that, right? You shouldn't have something laid out where you have to go A, B, C, D. So I originally wrote down why downsizing, because you didn't address that, but you got to it later on in the call with the divorce, and then you handled that well. So that was good. Two things that just I'm not aware of because it's of your market, but so you started off with saying you're with the Larkin Group. Are you guys well known enough that if you say Larkin Group, they know that that's real estate?
Yes, we are, but I would typically, I misstated that. I would probably say with real estate guy, because it's pretty long. The Larkin Group with Keller Williams Realty, it's a mouthful.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then also good on continuing to put it back on him as far as asking him why do you think it didn't do a good job? The more you get him to talk, the better. And then just one thing is everybody has words that they say over and over again. I do, and all of us as well on the line. You said that sucks a lot, which is totally fine, depending on the personality type. I would use a word different than sucks with somebody with the personality type that Cody has, who obviously has done a whole lot of research with them, because that just kind of sounds like you're filling in, right? And not necessarily empathizing with it. Not that sucks wouldn't work with other people, but just something to think about.
Okay.
Eric or Ryan, you guys got any feedback?
Just a pony a bit off of that that sucks statement. That is kind of making that overall assumption that it might suck for him. Who knows? He could be happy, elated, enjoyed. I don't know. But then again, we want to stay out of that assumption category. But otherwise, all the other points have been hit so far. So I'm gonna go back on mute.
Awesome. Eric, you got anything? You kind of came in late to the call. Good to see you, by the
Yeah,
way.
I don't have any input. Came in late to the call. Sorry about that. I was on with a very high I. It was a 25-minute call. Very long. But yeah, my name's Eric Haig. So good to meet you. And hopefully we'll have a good role play session today.
Yeah. So Jesse, I'm going to be kind of a little bit micromanaging. Overall, dude, you did awesome. So I can definitely tell you've been working with Robbie on a lot of stuff. Your mirroring and matching was spot on. There was a couple times it got a little bit off, and I think you just need to realize when you're not controlling your eye. So when he said he was a horse doctor, you're like, oh, really? Wow. I mean, could have maybe just brought that down a little bit, which is fine. So I love how you're asking a lot of why questions. Tell me more
I didn't
questions.
say what I was thinking.
Yeah. You know, he blamed the market. I think he could have dug into that a little bit more and asked a little bit more about the market or what specifically. So minute 4 to 5, that's where I'm going to kind of really dig down into, is where you went from connection to selling. And I think what you could have done is, you know, he said, well, what can you do differently? I think a really good question you could have asked is said, you know, what did your agent do now that you liked? What didn't they do? And that would have given you all the ammunition and let them talk more and had more of those connection pieces and allowed you to really dig down for another. I bet you probably could have spent another 4 or 5 minutes on that part with them. And then you would have sealed the deal and really said, well, hey, Cody, you know, you said you want this, and this done. And last time you didn't have this and this. If we could, you know, if we could do all those things, you think it'd be valuable to sit down with us. And it would have been a much easier process. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like you don't really know if you can provide any more value at this point. You know, I'm sure you guys can because I know your company, but to the consumer, they don't know you. So it would have allowed you to really connect a lot more. But overall, I think that was a lot. Really good job, dude. So yeah. So now you get to do another call after we all just micromanaged and nitpicked your last one. But no, you did good, dude. So yeah, why don't you call Pete?
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Pete.
Yep.
Hey, Jesse here with the Larkin Group, Keller Williams Realty. Reaching out to you because I noticed your home came off the market last night. Just wanted to call and see what happened with that.
Didn't sell. Kind of upset about it.
Yeah, tell me more about that. Why do you think it didn't sell?
Honestly, I think our realtor sucked. Not very happy about it. We're in a time crunch here, and it's pretty stressful. It's not selling.
Really? So your realtor sucks. Tell me more about that. What do you do?
It's one of the wife's friends. She, you know, does coffee dates with her and all that stuff. So she wanted to go with her, and I think she did a pretty piss poor job.
Man, that sucks. So where were you guys when you first put it on the market? What's the plan? Where are you headed?
We purchased a lot, and we're in the middle of building our dream home, and need to get this one sold. So I wanted to make sure we sell it as quick as possible for that right price. And our realtor did not do a very good job.
Bummer. So you're building your dream home. That's awesome, man. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, you know, we have some kids, and 2 out of the 3 have left, and the last one's in senior high school. So building the dream home on a lake, a little outside of town, and need this extra cash from selling this home to make sure we don't go under. So it's yeah, it's a little stressful.
Wow, sounds like it. So your plan was to sell this and then just rent a place, or what were you going to do in the meantime?
Time wise, you know, we put it on the market even though our home isn't going to be done for 6 months. We figured that it would probably take around you know, that amount of time to sell it, but in the 3 months that it was on with this other realtor, we didn't get any showings. So
wow. So what made you believe that it would take you 6 months to sell it?
Price point. It's a nicer home, so I just realized it'll probably take a while to sell, but this girl didn't really do anything.
So you didn't get any showings at all?
No showings.
Ouch. Wow. So that's something you want to change immediately, right? Get it back on the market and get showings?
Yeah, definitely. What are you, you know, I got to be stepping into a meeting here in a minute. What do you need from me, or what are you calling for?
Well, I just wanted to see if you guys still wanted to sell and what we could do to help with that.
What could you do to help?
What's that?
what could you do to help if this other, I mean, we didn't get a single showing. Now, granted, I'm not a big fan of this other realtor, but
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of things that we could do differently. What did she do that you liked or that you thought might work?
she knows my wife. That's about it. Otherwise, I don't like anything else.
So what do you think should have happened? What would you like to have seen her done?
I don't know, advertising more. It's, you know, I know our house is in the higher price point, but you know, we did a couple open houses, didn't have anybody come by. And I didn't really, you know, see it all over the place. Put a sign in the yard, and that's about it as far as I'm concerned.
So what other things do you think she should have done besides the sign?
I don't know. I mean, she's old, so I don't think she did the whole social media thing all that well. You know, our house would be a great house for those 30 to 40-year-olds that have some money and are buying their second home. And we didn't see any of those people.
Nice. So some more social media, maybe Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
Okay. How about, do you know if she did any radio ads or anything like that? Or?
Not that I heard. I don't really know.
Okay. No video at all? Not
No.
even a virtual tour? Okay.
No.
So you think, so if you could find somebody that would do that stuff, do you think that might be valuable for you to get your home sold?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If it doesn't take much to improve on what this lady did. So, you know, if we can get some people in there and make sure it's priced right, I set it at a price that I think is fair, and then the realtor agreed with me, but who knows?
So when you say you set the price, tell me more about that. Was there,
Yeah, no, just based off of some other houses that have sold in our neighborhood over the past couple of years, and what I bought it at, and realistically, you know, what I'm wanting to get because of our new house. So I came up with a price, and the realtor agreed with me, and she put it on the market for that.
gotcha. So if you have to change the price, how do you feel about that?
I mean, if you know, we definitely need to get it sold. I guess it'd be a matter of how big of a difference the price is.
Right. So if the market just won't support it, can you guys rent it and then still build your home?
I mean, I don't know if it's a type of house that would be rentable, just because of the size of it. We definitely need to get it sold. You know, I guess I'd be willing to see what kind of numbers you have for it being sold. But you know, definitely have a bottom that I wouldn't want to go below.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So what? Tell me more about that, Pete. When you say you don't have a bottom, had you had that conversation and then reverse engineered it to see, and what if this is where it's at?
No, you know, honestly, I came up with the number and told her, and she said, sounds good. So I guess I'm not really, she didn't really come back to me with any kind of data or anything about that. I have the number in my head that I think is fair. And, you know, obviously I put it above that, imagining that we would do some negotiating, but like I said, we didn't even see anybody, so didn't even get that opportunity.
Right. So what do you believe that where the market's at? You said you priced it above where you thought it should be. What price do you think it should be in your gut?
I don't know. I mean, it's you know, I'm looking at, I want to walk away at a minimum of 600. And we have it priced, you know, at 675. I figured that give us enough wiggle room. Other homes have sold for, you know, that price a couple you know, last year, so I thought that was a fair price.
Okay, gotcha. So you feel like if some marketing was done and some advertising, that you might have a shot at getting that number?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's, you know, start off high with the idea of negotiating down if need be. But at the same time, we didn't get a single person in here, so you know, we got to figure out something.
Right. Even with the worst marketing, you should have at least got one looky-loo, right?
Yeah.
Well, Pete, what we've done for folks like you in the past is get together and reverse engineer this and come up with a good marketing plan that could get their home sold, and then go from there. Would you guys find it valuable if somebody came back and maybe even gave you a little pushback at the chance of losing your business, but to tell you the truth about what needs to get your home sold?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we went with this other girl just because she was a friend. We need definitely need some help, so I'd be willing to hear you guys out and see what you think for a price for sure.
Cool. So now, what day usually works best for you and your wife to get together?
Let's stop there. So, Jesse, why don't you give yourself, feedback. What went well, what didn't go well?
You know what? That one I don't know. I felt like I did a really good job with that, flowing with it. I felt like I paced him really well. I'm not sure where I went wrong, but I don't feel like that I connected him with him deep enough to where I built a lot of trust.
Okay. Pete, what's your feedback?
So I honestly was planning on getting off when I said I have a meeting to go to if he didn't start showing a little bit more value. You showed some value, and realistically, as a D, what I liked hearing was the fact that hey, maybe that price isn't right. Maybe we should do some things to figure that out. And you came up with a couple ideas as far as the social media and stuff. Nothing specific, but you were saying that you were going to do some other things. The things that you didn't hit that would have been important is asking if I'm already talking to other realtors about it. Because in my head, I had written down that I'm already talking to somebody else about selling my house as well. So figuring out if I'm working with anybody else yet. And then you didn't put it back. So you found you found out why I was upset, and you gave a few solutions to it, but it would have sealed the deal more as far as trust goes, as far as just repeating back to me, right? Like saying, hey, you got this dream house. You need to get your home sold. Maybe it wasn't priced right, but it's obviously important we get it sold in the next couple of months. We want to help you out do that. This is how we're going to do it. And just kind of repeating those things back to me, I think is always very helpful. But otherwise, I was planning on getting off, but you started showing value, so I stayed on. So I think he did good. But not knowing that I was working with somebody else, if you set the meeting up for 3 days from now and I met with somebody tomorrow who did a good job, I might go with them.
Right.
Eric, what feedback do you got since you heard this one?
I noticed right at the beginning, you said that sucks 3 times, but then you caught yourself and you were about to say it again. You went, that bummer. and
I only said it the first time because he did.
Yeah. Yep. So it was good mirror matching, and it's a high D personality. So absolutely. But I love this to see that. I thought it was good. And there were a couple times too, when you started to get carried a little away with, it seems like your higher I, and then you did bring that back down, to kind of the more to the point, what can we do to get this ball rolling to get this home sold? So you guys, aren't carrying a double mortgage or whatever. So I thought it was really good, and it was great seeing you kind of implement some of the feedback just from a couple minutes ago. That was awesome.
Nice.
Cody, what do you got?
So most of mine has already gotten covered. I agree with Pete. You did a great job of bringing him back in where he was like, I got to get into a meeting. I'm about to take off here. What can I do for you? You did a great job of that. Another big positive I have here is that you found out what the plan is in between. That's sometimes, we see that listing and we see the potential to close on that and we get hungry and you would start going after that listing. You did a really good job of seeing that, hey, wait a minute, what's in between? What are you guys doing in the meantime? So that's a really good one. The only real criticism I have, and this isn't really so much criticism, it's just kind of a two-edged sword. So we always talk about going deeper. You hear Robbie say it, you hear Jim say it, always go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. One thing that you did, I noticed a lot though, and I started taking a tally here, is that you always say, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. It's a great question, and we always want to go deeper, but don't do it to the point where it sounds like it's becoming a script. Find different ways to ask the same question. Otherwise, great job.
Ryan, what do you got?
My points have been covered. And in essence, what I kind of heard just from other feedback is you really couldn't get out of his way fast enough. Pete, I actually thought you were going to hang up on him at one point. So I'm glad I got reined back in, and I like the tell me why type of scenario. So overall, I thought pretty good.
Yeah, so I think overall it was good. I think at the beginning he kind of gave you 2 openings that I saw where he said, my realtor sucked, piss poor job, and he could have gone down that rabbit hole right away and said, well, hey, what was piss poor job? I mean, what happened? The other thing that I would tell you too, Jesse, is your confidence wavers a little bit, which a D will just hang up on you if you have that. your voice cracks a little bit when you're going for that close. I would go for shorter style questions. You tend to do a little bit longer explanation, especially like, hey, so what are you going to do in the meantime? Are you thinking of renting? You're going to just move right in? You're going to move in here? Just make it a lot shorter. So what are you going to do in the meantime? Okay, once your house sells, then what? Okay, what do you need to make on the sale? Good clarifying question. He said he's priced at $675. He needs to clear $6. Is that before or after closing costs? Maybe he doesn't even know that. That's another good one. He also kind of gave you an opening to close, which if a D gives you an opening to close it. Because they, basically he said, well, yeah, I mean, what can you guys do differently? I mean, if you guys can do differently, yeah, we should talk. Well, great. Yeah, let's talk. Let's, here's what you wanted. We can do it. So, if we can get you the money you want and do the social media marketing, everything else you want, you think it makes sense to sit down? Great. When's a good time? And just do it really quick like that with enough confidence.
I thought about that and I thought, no, it's too soon.
At that point, I think when I looked, we were at about 7 minutes. 7 minutes with a D, honestly, you're good.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if someone's a really, really high D, the quickest I've ever closed was 3 minutes, but I had all the information because it literally sounded almost like a shouting match. It was like, hey, I want to sell my home. Why do you want to sell your home? Because I need to move. Great. Where do you need to move to? Moorhead. Great. What do you need? 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-stall, 200,000. Okay. When do you need to move in by? July. Great. Why are you moving? Because this place sucks. Well, why does it suck? It's too small. Okay. Like, if it's a really high D, you can get through those conversations really quickly.
Right.
So overall, man, I think you did really well. I mean, what do you think that any closing remarks you got?
Well, what I took out of this today is I'm a lot harder on myself than other people are.
Yep. And that we're all our own worst critic, for sure.
And I think I took away just trust myself that I know how to flow a conversation.
Yep, you do.
I know how to go with it.
Yep.
So, and I learned to just, slow down and trust my gut, because some of the feedback you guys gave me, I wanted to do, but I didn't, because I thought it was, wow, no, I got to do it this way because they said. So really just trust my gut.
Yeah, I think trust your gut. The bigger thing that we always talk about is, I don't care how you get from A to B as long as you get there. I don't care if you go to Z, Q, R, S first.
Yeah.
As long as that question gets answered and you figure it out. So
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Pete.
One other thing, and you didn't really have an opportunity with either of the scenarios that we did today, but something that's really helpful that Eric has pointed out before in the past with these expireds is sometimes going down the route of what their new home is or what they're looking for, because that's happy, right? People want to talk about their new home a lot more than how their current home doesn't sell. And if you have a high I, right, which you didn't have on either one of these, and you said you didn't have as much problem, but sometimes I'll spend as much time as possible talking about what they're hoping to do as opposed to that what went wrong, and then at the end just say, hey, here's what went wrong. We're going to get you into the house.
Right. Oh,
I think we froze Pete.
Yeah. Either that or he's holding really, really still. So with that, I just got 2 points. I think the big thing is just remember we're here about helping people, and all of these calls, when we're saying realtors suck or anything like that, it's not that we're saying that, it's that we all have these calls every day, and that's what people say. And we're here just to help people, and I think that's the big thing is just remember you're here to help. It's not about a transaction, it's about helping that family get what they want. So with that, why don't you take us out of here, Cody?
All right, folks. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you on. We love having other people on. If you want to get involved with us and do a role play, hit us up in the group. Remember to like and subscribe. We are the Lead Geeks, signing out.